This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, SSPTV political analyst Mike DeCosmo drops by to talk about the possibility of two former Hazleton mayors running for Congress against each other. Thanks for watching FYI on SSPTV and SSPTV.com. My name is Ken Kara, and I have in my hands tonight's headlines from FYI and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. A new modular locker room facility at Harmon-Geist Memorial Stadium is one step closer to reality. The Hazleton Planning Commission granted preliminary approval for the project, with final approval contingent on letters from utilities involved in the project. Currently, the Hazleton Area High School football team and the women's field hockey team share the same playing season and the stadium's locker room, but not at the same time. The modular locker room would ensure that the district is compliant with Title IX that guarantees equality for men and women. A violation of Title IX would result in a loss of federal funding. If all goes as planned, the new modular facility would be ready in mid-September at a projected cost of $340,000. The Hazleton Area School Board voted to appoint him on June 8th, and yesterday, Dr. Craig Butler was officially sworn in as the superintendent of the Hazleton Area School District. The oath was administered by District Judge Joseph Zola. Dr. Butler then signed the paperwork required to make his new role official. Prior to taking over the helm, Dr. Butler had served as assistant superintendent. The Lackawanna County coroner has ruled the death of a Scranton police officer a homicide. 29-year-old patrolman John Wilding died Sunday from head injuries he sustained while chasing alleged felony suspects on Saturday. Three 17-year-old boys have been charged in the armed robbery. They could face felony murder charges if prosecutors prove the officer died while chasing them during the commission of a crime. Well, a summertime tradition returns to the area this Friday. The downtown Hazleton Farmers Market resumes Friday at 10 a.m. Local farm produce will be available for purchase. There will also be free entertainment in the Pocket Park next to the former Security Savings Building. The Farmers Market will operate from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. each Friday through September 4th. The 2016 primary election is almost a year away, but candidates are already coming forward. FYI's Lisa Sugart sat down with a local political analyst to get his take on one race that is sure to get attention.
Pleased to welcome the Luzerne County Democratic Chairman and also a political analyst here for Channel 13 and FYI and SSPTV, Mike DeCosmo. Mike, what was your reaction when you heard that Mike Marsicano, the former mayor of Hazleton, will be throwing his hat in the ring for U.S. Congress in the 11th Congressional District?
Well, I guess I wasn't quite as surprised as most people, Lisa, only because Michael reached out to me about a month ago, told me what his plans were, and that he was going to be making an announcement in July. So when he initially told me, I was somewhat surprised, because Mike's the kind of guy who's had his hand in everything in terms of his airline piloting and his other businesses, which he's still involved in. So I was somewhat surprised at the beginning, but again, I didn't know it was coming.
What do you think of this if Lou Barletta decides to seek re-election? We have two former Hazleton mayors going against each other in November, possibly other candidates running in the primary. That remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you're going against a guy like Lou Barletta. Michael's going in as the underdog, and he certainly knows that. But looking back at Mike and Lou's past relationships, they've always been pretty friendly. So I think the great thing we're going to see is a relatively fact-based type of election. You know, I don't think there's going to be much animus there because they do have a past friendly relationship. But the fact is, two different mayors, two different styles. It's no great surprise. When Mike was mayor, Mike had a reputation somewhat of a cowboy, and I say that now in an admiring sense, because Mike was a law and order, tough guy, you know, maybe years ahead of his time. And, you know, we just saw in yesterday's newspaper, I guess the Hazleton crime rate is about 4 times the national rate. So I know a lot of people would probably love to see Mike running for mayor instead of Congress, but the fact is, Mike's a blue dog Democrat. You know, he's a real conservative blue dog Democrat, and in this district, I think that's what you have to do to be successful.
I know at one point he had changed parties. Any impact with that?
Yeah, I think what Mike has to do. Mike was a member of the Republican Party, I think, for about 5-6 years, Democrat most of his life, but, you know, just endearing himself to the Democrats. Again, you do that by going to the summer outings, the picnics, reaching out to the leadership in the party, which Mike's been doing. So, you know, he wants to let people know that he's a Democrat and he's a Democrat here to stay, but certainly a blue dog conservative Democrat.
How difficult is it for anybody to win this race? This is a huge district.
Yeah, it's a huge district. The numbers favor the Republicans since the gerrymandering. Lou's going in with about a 6 to 7% registration edge. But I want to put out two words. Hillary Clinton is probably going to be at the top of the Democratic ticket next year. So I think for any Democrat running with Hillary, in this area where the Clintons have always run extremely strong, I think it's going to be a real plus.
That was a question I was going to ask you because this race is in 2016 presidential year, so that'll have a major impact on it.
Yeah, I consider myself a little bit of a political historian, but Dan Flood only ever lost one race in his entire lifetime, and that was back in '56 to a Hazleton gentleman, Mr. Bonin, Frank Bonin, and again, that was during the Eisenhower landslide. And during presidential years, you see a lot of people who only vote maybe once every 4 years who come out to vote, and those people who vote generally are just pulling a straight party lever. So if they're coming out and voting for Hillary, obviously that'd be great for Mike. If they're coming out and voting for the Republican candidate, and I'm assuming Hillary's going to be our nominee, of course, but that's going to bode well for Louis.
Final question. What does it say when you have two candidates from our area running for Congress?
I think it's great, especially the fact that they're both mayors. Both of them I have a relationship with over 30 years, but I think it shows the impact Hazleton has in this congressional district. We're sort of a microcosm, I think, of what's going on in many parts of the country. A lot of the problems we have here in the Hazleton area, I think, are transcending through the district. So I think either of them would be, well, Louis, of course, already is there. Mike knows the problems of the district. So I think we'll get good representation.
All right, thanks for talking with us. Mike DeCosmo, the chairman of the Luzerne County Democratic Party and a political analyst right here on SSPTV.
Thank you, Lisa. Now the video of Mike Marsicano and the helicopters from an upcoming episode, the season finale of Out of Left Field, so get ready for that one. Well, watching FYI is great, at least I hope it is. Winning with FYI is even better. Our latest random Facebook winner is Kelly Gallagher Filbert. She won a pair of tickets to go see the Pennsylvania 400 NASCAR race later this month at the Pocono Raceway, actually in August. The winning train just keeps rolling. Now we have some tickets to see Samoa Joe at Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling's Point Break event this Saturday. Bell time is at 7 p.m. at Holy Family Academy on Laurel Street in the city. There's a meet and greet before that with Samoa Joe at 5 p.m. You just need to purchase a ticket, and you can buy tickets at ppwwrestling.com. Now let's check out Holy Annunciation Parish's annual Bible camp held at St. Gabriel's Church. This year they had their largest turnout ever.
The theme for our Vacation Bible School is a radical ride on the wings of prayer, where the children kind of sort of go through different countries, different saints, different themes, virtues, all that kind of good stuff. And they do that through many different activities, such as crafts, faith class, games, snack, and music. And our music program is sort of, I guess, what you would call the bigger part of the program, because the children learn all the different music and the emotions and all that stuff. And then on Friday evening, we bring them back and the families are invited, and we have what we call a family night where the children put on a performance and show the parents what they've done through the week.
Now I really want to color. Looks like fun. Coming up next on FYI, part 2 of Lisa Sugart's interview with members of the Anthracite Region Center for Independent Living as they celebrate 25 years of service. And in sports, Eric Schultz from the Standard Speaker is here to get us all ready for tonight's MLB All-Star Game.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
Every Tuesday, FYI presents Care for Kids to highlight the good works of Brandon's Forever Home, a nonprofit organization created to raise awareness about children in foster care and their need for permanent loving homes. Brandon's Forever Home is located on North Church Street in Hazleton. The organization provides a vital information on fostering and adoption, along with many projects to help the children involved with the program. Some of the upcoming projects to benefit the children in the program include a summer dream vacation. Brandon's Forever Home is planning a special event for the older children children in the program to visit the Jersey Shore. Many of the children have never seen the ocean, and Brandon's Forever Home is looking to make their dream a reality. And on July 25th, a karaoke party is planned for Brandon's Forever Home. Children ages 15 and over. It will be a night of singing, pizza, and fun. If you would like to know more about Brandon's Forever Home, fostering or adopting, you can call them at 570-926-5117 or follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, or check out their website at brandonsforeverhome.com.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
Flowers need rain, so if we get some, that's good. They also need sun, so it's also good if it's sunny. And that's today's botany lesson. Let's move on to the weather, see what we're going to get. This is our local forecast from the National Weather Service. Well, we are under a hazardous weather outlook as showers and scattered thunderstorms move through our area early this evening, so look out for flash flooding tonight. Showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm, and some can produce heavy rain. It will be cloudy with a low around 67 degrees. On our extended forecast, Wednesday, there is a 50% chance of showers mainly before 3 p.m. It's a mostly cloudy day with a high of 77. Wednesday night will be partly cloudy as we dip down to 55 degrees. Thursday looks nice, sunny with a high near 80. Thursday night mostly cloudy, we'll get down to 56. On Friday, the sun's back again, up near 80 degrees, high of 77. Friday night partly cloudy, low of 61. Saturday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms after 8 a.m. as we get up to 79 degrees. And Saturday night, another chance of showers and thunderstorms before 2 a.m. Partly cloudy night with a low of 64.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Valley High, the area's oldest ice cream and fast food restaurant. Stop on in for a cold treat including our ice cream and yogurt, or some hot food including our burgers, hot dogs, fries, and much more. That's Valley High, Route 93 in West Hazelton. Treat yourself today.
The Anthracite Region Center for Independent Living has been helping people with disabilities attain the highest possible level of independence for 25 years now. Lisa Sugar recorded a series of interviews with the Executive Director, Denise Corcoran, and Marketing Director, Diana Morris-Smaglick.
Denise, there are 4 core services that ARSL has, so could you tell me what they're all about?
Sure. Advocacy, peer mentoring, IL skills training, and INR.
Okay.
And do you want to know a little bit about each of
I
those?
was gonna say, what are they?
Advocacy would be to, if we get a call that one of our consumers says a place isn't accessible, that they would go and meet with the owner of the business or come to us and find out what they need to do to make it more accessible. IL skills, skills training would be if someone becomes disabled, we have someone who would go in and teach them how to maybe cook in their house now in a wheelchair, how to go grocery shopping, and all those other skills that they need to live independently. Peer mentoring is actually a program with someone with a disability, works with another person who has a disability and helps them to become acclimated to their disability. And as Diana said earlier about the support groups and things like that, they would get involved with that. And information and referral is just information referral. Someone calls us and says, I need help with applying for Social Security. How do I go about doing that? Or my family member just is now disabled and we need help trying to find out what services are available that we might not provide. We would be able to have them contact another agency to get the services that they need.
Okay, so there's a lot involved that ARSL does for the community. And there are also special projects that ARSL is involved in. So Diana, I'm going to ask you about those.
Sure. We have a number of special projects. We work with young adults and help them get together for social things as well as informational sessions. We have 2 groups, 2 young adult groups. One is school age and one is 18 to 28. We say 18 to 28, but they're eking it up to 30 now because they don't want to leave. They have too much fun. But we also provide an adult support group, which is our Disability Action Crew. And they do trainings, they get together for fun things, they do picnics, they have a really good time, but they also learn a lot and they learn from each other, which is really important that we're not always the ones providing the information. They get together in a support group and somebody says, oh, I filled out that paperwork, let me tell you what I had to do, or I used this particular lawyer, or I used transportation and this is how I accessed it. I think that's really important. We also run an emergency preparedness program for first responders and people with disabilities, helping them learn to communicate with each other and share information. And last but not least, we run the Vital House program with the Hazelton Area School District and the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. And Vital House is a program in the school district that offers an opportunity for students to learn what it would be like to live independently in the community. The important thing to remember is that living independently does not mean that you live on your own. It means that you're in charge of how things are done, that you make decisions about what you want your money spent on, what you want to eat, those kinds of things. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's nobody else involved. It means you know how to ask for what you need, and that's independent living.
Well, that's very well said. And if you need help with living independently, the best people to ask are the people right here. So contact Arcel. They can answer any of the questions that you may have. And again, they've been doing it for 25 years.
We'll have continuing coverage of Arcel. We'll continue Lisa's interview in the coming days and weeks on FYI. Here's your green screen for today. The midday winning Pennsylvania Lottery numbers on FYI. Pick 2, 7, 1, pick 3, 6, 1, 9, pick 4, 6, 3, 5, 7, and pick 5, 3, 3, 4, 5, 7. And your lottery numbers on FYI brought to you by Boyer Insurance Agency, and they have 2 locations to serve you. One is in Cunningham on Sugarloaf Avenue, the other in Nescapec on Broad Street. Call Boyer in Cunningham at 570-788-3543 and in Nescapec at 570-752-7683. We preview Major League Baseball's All-Star Game and talk about the Home Run Derby next in sports.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
Once a week, we bring on someone from the Standard Speaker sports staff, or really it's just either Eric Schultz or Dave Seaman right now. Try to get Steve Stallone along one time, Eric maybe, but we're happy to have Eric Schultz with us this weekend on a special day as we get you ready for Major League Baseball's All-Star Game. But let's start with the Home Run Derby. Honestly, Eric, I didn't watch. I was watching U.S. Soccer, and I had my in-laws over for American Ninja Warrior. They love it. If you get a chance, this girl, Jessie Graff is her name. She's a stunt woman. Watch her go through the course, man. YouTube that. You did watch it. What did you think? You thought the format went well with the bracket, and you said with the time limit this year.
Yeah, I kind of flip-flopped with you. I wanted to watch the soccer, but I put on the Home Run Derby. They had the brackets, which I think started last year, so you had a head-to-head kind of tournament, which is already interesting in itself. And then they had a time element. It was 5 minutes. It knocked it down to 4 minutes because of inclement weather. But it was more made for TV, and you knew that, they didn't just have 10 outs and they could just take their pitches and wait forever and drag it out. They had to start hitting home runs, and as the time came down, there was a little more drama. So I think that was cool. The only thing I didn't like was you got kind of almost style points. If you hit deep home runs, if you hit 2 past 425 feet, you got a 30-second bonus, which sounds cool at first, but at the very end, we saw Todd Frazier. He tied Jock Peterson at 13-all and got time for one more pitch, and I'm like, this is going to be a walk-off home run derby when this is going to be awesome. He just missed the fence, and then they gave him 30 bonus seconds, so that buzzer beater didn't really matter, and all that drama kind of went away because it was just a done deal. He just needs one more home run, and he hit it right away. So at least in the finals, for the final stake, make it a little more dramatic, take out the bonus time. If there's a tie, let's have a swing-off of some sort.
It's interesting how they keep adding these things. I don't know if you remember Rock and Jock Baseball that was on MTV. They used to have the jocks play. Some of the rock stars are celebrities, and they had all these different rules, and walls would move back and forth. So some of it's interesting, some of it maybe not. We'll have to see what traditionalists think. Well, this one, the big one, the MLB All-Star Game on Tuesday night. And Eric, what are you looking forward to? I'm looking forward to, it's kind of the Kansas City Royals versus the National League, but the Royals are an exciting team, so that's pretty cool. But in the American League, Josh Donaldson, I got to see him play at Fenway this year. This guy makes huge plays. He had that one catch into like the third row one night he can hit. I'm really looking forward to Josh Donaldson. What are you looking forward to tonight?
I'm looking forward to see a lot of the stars I don't really get to see on TV. You had the teams like Donaldson, Dallas Keuchel, if I'm pronouncing that right. He's starting for Houston Astros for the American League side. And those are the teams that have the young, exciting pitchers and batters. And, you want to be excited for them. You just don't see them on the national airwaves too much. So to see those lesser-known guys that are, should be making a name for themselves, this is what tonight's kind of about for me.
We're going back to the Home Run Derby. 2 Cubs, 2 of Joe Maddon's team right there who participated in that. One of them, Anthony Rizzo. I'm looking forward to see them too. I don't get to see the Cubs a lot. I'm an American League guy. Every now and then I'll tune in for Joe, but definitely looking forward to that. But let's wrap things up. Second half of the season, you said you're a Mets fan. Right now, second place in the NL East. Who wins the NL East, and you think the Mets make the playoffs?
I think the National Nationals win it because they started off slow. They're starting to find their groove. They have all that pitching. Max Scherzer is just out of his mind on his last 3 or 4 starts. So I think they'll put a little bit of distance on in the final stretch. The Mets, they have a good chance for the wild card if they keep it up. Steven Matz, their newest upgrade from the minors to the pitching staff. He's out for at least 3 weeks until he starts throwing, but they still have a bunch of young, great pitchers, plus Bartolo Colon. And once they get some pieces back, like David Wright, hopefully soon, the hitting, that can come around too. So, it seems like they might finally be back in the postseason picture, which I'm still not comfortable saying yet.
So we'll see, knock on wood. The other New York team, the Yankees, as a Red Sox fan, been impressed by them this year with what they've done with their roster. A-Rod definitely helping them out, getting some great pitching. I think they hold on in the AL East, maybe a force in the playoffs. We will see. Eric, we always appreciate your time. Thanks for stopping by. Read his work in the Standard Speaker. Well, speaking of all-stars, head to St. Joseph's Gym at Holy Family Academy on Laurel Street on Saturday to see one of wrestling's biggest stars. Samoa Joe is paying Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling a visit to take part in their July event, Point Break. Bell time is 7 p.m. and there's a meet and greet before at 5 p.m. with Samoa Joe. To buy tickets, go to ppwwrestling.com. You can also buy them at several local businesses. You can find the list of those businesses on PPW's Facebook page. Like their Facebook page because that's where you'll find out what big wrestling star is coming to our area next. That's sports for tonight. We'll be right back. Happy Wing Night. It's Wing Night at Bottlenecks. Get $2 off your order of wings or all-you-can-eat wings and boneless wings for only $14.95. Bottlenecks wings are voted best wings in the area year after year.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's social news. First tonight, happy 23rd birthday to Courtney Brocious. Love from your parents, Aunt Donna, and family. In our Talk of the Town report, the Hickory Run State Park will be holding another session of their hiking series Wednesday, July 22nd. Join them for a more difficult 3.5-mile hike on the Game Wire Trail beginning at 9 a.m. Be sure to wear sturdy shoes and bring water. No registration is required, but it may be canceled due to inclement weather. For more information, please call 570-403-2006. Our next announcement, a healing mass at St. Michael's Ukrainian Church, 114 South Chestnut Street in Shenandoah, will be held Wednesday, July 15th at 6 p.m. The public is invited to attend. And one more quick announcement, the Diving Mercy Roman Catholic Parish 108 West Cherry Street in Shenandoah will be holding their 2015 Parish Block Party July 17th, 18th, and 19th. The event will include a huge variety of ethnic and American food, beverages, games, and entertainment. For more information, just give them a call, 570-462-1968. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of Andrew Raymond Skitko Sr. of Gilbertsville. Service will be held Thursday at 11 a.m. at the St. John's Church in Pottstown. Friends may call Thursday from 9:30 to 11 a.m. Attention pay-per-view subscribers, if you see your name right now on News 13, you'll have 13 minutes to call and win a free movie from Service Electric Cablevision. Our winner tonight is James Walk of McAdoo. James, if you're watching, give us a call right now, 570-455-7267, extension 104.
Hazelton Power is hosting an interesting event at Whispering Willows Park in Cunningham this weekend. Learn all about it during our Downtown Hazelton Alliance for Progress segment on Thursday. Before we get out of here, remember, for breaking news, facebook.com/FYI News 13 and standardspeaker.com. Take it easy, everyone.